Hey Hofstra fans, welcome inside the WB Mason Coaches Report with Abby Morgan. I'm Anthony Barrett, joined by Abby Morgan, the head coach of the Hofstra Women's Lacrosse team. Coach, thanks for the time. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing pretty good, Coach. Before we get to your game on Saturday against Rutgers, let's talk about the festivities and the whole event. It was a doubleheader with your team and then the Hofstra Men's Lacrosse team played after you. Youth games, alumni coming back. What did you think about the day?
It was great. It was a little hectic, I think, for everybody involved, but it was great to have a good crowd. It was a nice day. And have our alumni there. Unfortunately, we didn't give them the best showing, but to have our alumni support is so important for us. To have some of those young ones come back and say, wow, you guys are playing well. I love this player doing this thing that, we were trying to get her to do when I was here. Some of that is just great for our program, and we've been around for a long, long time, and to have that support from our alumni is great.
Now, getting to the game, you fell against Rutgers 15-7. What did you see from your team out there?
We were a little off kilter from the start, and I think that it started with our practices last week. We were not as focused as we should be, and kind of forgot the purpose of practice for a little bit to really get better in that time. And I think they were just itching for another game to happen. And finally, when it was there, forgot all the hard work that has to go into playing as well as we can. So, again, turnovers were a killer for us, but hopefully we grow from it.
Now, you brought up the turnovers. You had twice as many as Rutgers did. What do you think is the biggest reason for that?
Well, I think most of them were coming against the game before. I mean, it was all in clears and kind of our last couple passes and getting the ball up the field. In this game, it was more our first option in our offense, and our offense just pushing it a little bit too much, and options that really weren't there. That was more of our turnovers and not as much of our clears. So that's something we've worked on this week. We've worked a lot more on our shooting as well, because we didn't shoot well and didn't take enough shots, and that's something we've pushed with our team, is that we're not taking enough shots to score enough goals.
Marianne Miller played very well for you, and this is something that we've kind of seen from her throughout her career.
Mm-hmm.
She started out her career at Hofstra, first couple of games, had a lot of goals. What is it going to take for her to be more consistent?
I think a switch went for her, even though she's got one more year. Kind of that senior switch may have turned on for her, and she's just a passionate player. She's an inspirational player, and there was no doubt once she had that first one that she had it in. She just had that look in her eye, and I think our whole team saw it. We didn't jump on her back enough as we should have, but that's something that she can do all the time. I mean, she scored 3 goals, I think, in 5 or 7 minutes, and that's what she can do every day. So as much as it was exciting to see her do it, as a team and as a coaching staff, we said, hey, you did it for that amount of time, you got to do it for at least 40 minutes. Give us 40 minutes of that.
And you did get some of the younger players into the game, players who haven't seen a whole lot of playing time. What did you think from them?
We really had to try some options and see what could get put together. I mean, we had some big holes in terms of 3 starters being missing: Emily Von Holland, Casey Kellogg, both with concussions, and Taylor Albright with mono. I mean, those were big shoes to fill, and we didn't fill them very well. So we were trying some other people to see if we could do some of those things by committee, and we did miss out on Emily and Casey on the defensive end, especially because they slow down some of those drives, and we could have limited them in shots, and we can't expect Jackie to make 20 saves every game. So filling in those roles, we tried to try some different people, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't.
Now, you said that it wasn't a particularly good week of practice for your team. Do you think that's something that's just going to happen because you have a lot of young players out there and that's growing pains for you?
I think it was a lot of mental. I think it was more mental than youth, and we do have a lot of experience out there, and even our younger ones have been out on the field enough. But I think that we got a little too high with a win against Drexel and playing a decent game against Maryland. I think they just wanted to play again and prove themselves again, and we kind of went through the motions a little bit too much in practice. And we had one good day before the game, but it really wasn't enough. I mean, mentally we just were not as focused as we should have been, and thankfully yesterday's practice was good. Hoping today's is good so that we can have a good showing tomorrow.
And you have a quick turnaround now, so after a long week of practice, I guess this is actually probably a pretty normal amount of rest, 3 or 4 days off. What has been the big focus in practice?
Well, we have to get back to doing the things that we do well. And we haven't really talked much about our opponent because we haven't been focusing on ourselves as much. Get back to having solid defense. We had Casey and Emily Von Holland back at practice yesterday, and they're wearing those helmets to protect those brains, but they really came back and shined for us. So that's going to give just that little bit of confidence to our team, and we've talked a lot about team because we've had a lot of individuals go up and down with their play, and we need to come together as a team and play hard as a group, and that's what we've been focusing on.
Now you welcome Penn State into Seward tomorrow. They're ranked in the top 15 in both the coaches poll and the Inside Lacrosse poll. What have you seen from them in your prep?
They're a talented team, and we played them last year out at their place, and it was a very tough game for us. It was kind of a turning point for our team, and it was a very low turning point for us. They are a scrappy team. They go after the ball. They win draw controls, and that's something we got the draw control win in our last game. We need to get that ground ball and draw control win on the stat sheet. But they're a talented team. They're skilled. They pass a lot of balls into the middle, and hopefully we can come up with some of those. And our offense needs to really step up.
Now you had more than a full week off after this Penn State game. Obviously you want your players to go out there and give 100% regardless of when or how many games you have in a span. But do you get a feeling from them that they know there's no reason to hold back anything because they get so much time off?
Definitely. I think they want to redeem themselves because they were very frustrated with their own play. It was a tough locker room after that game because they knew that from the beginning they really didn't have it, and it was up and down and highs and lows, and we can't play that way and win against the opponents we schedule. So they're excited to get on the field again, and you could see it in practice yesterday. So that's going to be a big piece for us. And then when we do have some downtime, we're going to have to make sure as coaches that we keep them focused and do some different things in practice so that we can get better in those practice days and not just kind of cruise through them.
And what's going to be the key to victory tomorrow?
I think it's going to be our offense. Our offense needs to mesh, and we haven't done that for a consistent 60 minutes. We've had spells of it here and there, but our offense needs to get on the same page and take a lot of shots because we haven't taken enough. I think we're averaging 22 shots a game, and that's just not enough for us to score the amount of goals that we need to win.
Coach, thanks a lot, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
And thank you, Hofstra fans, for joining us inside the WB Mason Coaches Report with Abby Morgan.